Once upon a time there was, and it was a dark and stormy night, are two well-known opening lines for great stories. We all love great stories. We love to hear and share accounts of great events and deeds. Some of my fondest memories are of sitting and reading stories to my children, and now I get to do it again with my grandchildren. And while often embellished to make them a little more entertaining or sanitized to make them age appropriate, they are usually based on actual events and real people. That's why Bible stories are the best of all, because they're about real events and people that were preserved by God's loving power to teach powerful lessons. This story begins with Once Upon a Time from the New Living Translation. So the Lord sent Nathan the prophet to tell David this story. There were two men in a certain town. One was rich and one was poor. The rich man owned a great many sheep and cattle. The poor man owned nothing but one little lamb he had bought. He raised that little lamb and it grew up with his children. It ate from the man's own plate and drank from his cup. He cuddled it in his arms like a baby daughter. One day a guest arrived at the home of the rich man. But instead of killing an animal from his own flock or herd, he took the poor man's lamb and killed it and prepared it for his guest. David was furious. As surely as the Lord lives, he vowed, any man who would do such a thing deserves to die. He must repay 4 lambs to the poor man for the one he stole and for having no pity. Then Nathan said to David, "You are that man." 2 Samuel 12, verses 1 through 7. The story was powerful because it captured David's heart and stirred him to anger against injustice and prepared him to hear the truth about his own sin. But what does it do for us, for you and me? Do we hear it and think, what a masterful way to open David's heart so he will convict himself and repent of his sin? I need to figure out how to do that in my teaching and preaching. Or do we hear it and say, what an evil thing David did. I'm so glad he didn't get away with it. Or does it capture your heart and mind for God's truth? Do we hear it and say, I am the man? If we're so blind to our own sin that we never get past the first two reactions, then let's share a story. Once upon a time, there was a sinner. Skipping to the end, the sinner is you and me. Well, thank you for watching today's Morning Minutes in the Bible. Until tomorrow, this is James McClenny hoping you have a great day.